Yeah. Just as a sign of unity, I'm going to stand for the whole thing.
I've known you for a long time.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're done.
So where's Quinn?
It's tough. Yeah. It's tough if if one of us catches a cold, we force the other one to not be near us. That's true because we can't all get sick because we.
Yeah, we filmed today, and he was in the back room by himself, like in the corner, as we were trying to stay away from him because we can't get sick.
So he wanted to be here, but we forbade him.
Yes.
Okay.
He says hi, though.
So
I'll tell him you said hi.
That is a huge camera right up front. There's nothing secret about that camera.
Hey, she's got a tour shirt on. You see that? That's an Impractical Jokers tour T-shirt.
Can you hold that up? Can you hold that up? Can you hold it over your head?
Over your head.
Can you hold? What is that? Is that a billion megapixel camera?
Now, you guys seem like you're having a lot of fun this season. And I think we talked about this once. I don't remember how I worded it because I might have been drunk. But let's talk about what the network is willing to let you do. Because I'm pretty sure if you pitched Sal jumps out of helicopter in season 1, they would have said, get the hell out of here. We're not giving you that.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten more license to do the crazy ideas. The thing is, the ideas have started from the beginning, though. These crazy ideas we've been sitting on. I was sitting on that the idea about that helicopter punishment because it's a real bet that these two guys have had. They had this true bet that if Murr weighed the same as Sal, he could beat him in a foot race.
The actual bet, I could beat him to the top of the Empire State Building was the actual bet.
So he said, if he weighed, because he weighs less than Sal, so we said, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll strap him into a fat suit and we'll make them run. So we put like 65 pounds on Murr and made them race. And of course, Murr lost because he always just runs his mouth.
What
and
I've
never
realized
comes through.
is that I can't beat Sal in a foot race. No.
So then for the punishment of it, we were like, okay, we'll just take them up in a helicopter and we'll make one of them jump out of it. And the network was like, I'm sorry, what do you want them to do? And we're like, no, he'll just jump into it. Don't worry, there's going to be water. It'll be a lake. So they were like...
Yeah, thank you for putting water under Sal.
So they're like, how...
That was in December, but the water was freezing.
Well, we were supposed to film it in the summer, and at the last minute, the original pond owner pulled out. So we lost the location. So we had to, when we found a pond...
The original pond owner?
There was a different pond.
I'm not privy to this information because it was a surprise to me.
We had a whole totally different pond, and at the last minute, he was like... Nah, and it was like...
He was like, nah, it's my pond.
Has there ever been anything that the network has just said flat out no to? Like, that you cannot do?
It's interesting. Everything kind of goes full circle. It's the pilot episode, season 1, the beginning, in the treatment for Impractical Jokers, it was called Mission Uncomfortable at that time, we pitched the tattoo punishment. I mean, this is season 1, episode 1.
Now, what's the tattoo punishment?
It's where one of us, whoever wins the episode, forces the other 3 to permanently get a tattoo of his choosing, and we don't find out until after we peel the bandages off what's been emblazoned on our body.
And we repitched that a bunch of times.
They said no 20 times, and then finally we're like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and it worked
so it's
out.
just about it's as much just knowing. When there's no rules, like we learned as we went along, and it's as much knowing, just like how to talk to your mom when you want to get you something, or it's the same exact thing. It's just like knowing when to communicate, when's the right time, you know what I mean?
When to clean your room.
And
it's all very similar.
You sneak stuff in. It's literally just like there's no rules at all.
So what strange tattoos do you now have?
Well, I won, so I don't have any.
Yeah.
But they lost.
I have...
Don't take it out here. Don't take it out here.
Okay, this is getting edgy. Cover your eyes, young lady.
Murr has a ferret skydiving.
Ferret skydiving?
Yeah.
You're laughing like you're seeing it. Did you not know? No.
Oh, he knows what Sal has.
Oh my God, are you okay? He's turning purple. Oh my God, are you all right? I'm being dead serious. We might have an emergency.
Yeah.
So we have a ferret skydiving.
I got a ferret skydiving.
And what do we have?
I have Q, and Q got on one. Q's a cat guy, and he has 3 cats, and probably and counting. And so he put on him a cat, and it says 38, lives alone, has 3 cats.
All true.
Which backfired.
With a cute little cat on him.
Which backfired because Q loves it.
Yeah, he does love, but he's not 38 anymore, so it's out of date.
Yeah. And he put on me Jaden Smith.
A very
Wait,
accurate
Will
one.
Smith's son. You have a tattoo of Will Smith's son.
Yes. I have a tattoo of Will Smith's son. I have a 16-year-old boy tattooed on me for life. And this was before he's really getting like popular now.
Yeah.
But this is when it was just like, I don't know.
So you wanted the
Karate
first fans
Kid.
on board.
Yeah. It was when I showed it to him. We
So
saw
you have
him.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yes.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah. I got
It was the pursuit of
I got
happiness.
Pursuit of
back.
Happiness, Jaden Smith. Not like, how does the
After
universe
Earth or
work,
whatever
Jaden
it is.
Smith. But it's on my thigh. I'm gonna keep it because that was the intention. So, but it has nothing to do with me. And
So let's go back to the beginning with the three for you.
okay,
You started this, like most people, I would assume, just for shits and giggles amongst the four of you, right?
pretty much. I mean,
And then the camera phone was invented. And then all hell broke loose. Is that like what was,
Yeah,
what
we
was the
filmed
origin story?
the sizzle tape, which is what you show networks when you have idea for a show. It's called a sizzle. We filmed that on our iPhones actually,
right.
and we went out and we like did these stupid dares in public and filmed them. Like they dared me to get up in a crowded movie theater and just tell everyone that I had farted and interrupt the whole movie. And he almost died from laughter because we
it'll
shut
never
down the
not
whole.
be funny. I know it sounds easy,
Yeah.
but it's not.
But it was also a packed screening of Tyler Perry Presents.
Whoa, you did this in front of
was-
black people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Respect.
yeah.
Respect.
What's funny though is that we were filming on our iPhones.
Street cred.
We were
Roy.
literally filming on our iPhones, and the original sales tape we used to show in our live shows. But when you see it, you see Sal's camera
Shaking.
just doing this as he's recording Joe standing up saying that he farted.
Yeah.
So wait, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming if you hear, you know a little about us, but just in case you don't, we met in high school. So that's where we met. We met in 1990, like 26 years ago. And then come 99, after we all got out of college, we started performing comedy together as a comedy troupe called the Tenderloins. And that is our identity outside of Impractical Jokers. And along the way, we got the show Impractical Jokers. So we've been friends for 25 years and performing together for 16 years. And 5 years ago, we got fortunate enough that one of the TV shows we were trying to make finally stuck. And so that brings us here tonight.
There you go.
That's the that's the chronological order.
Everybody's applauding a
of him.
timeline.
Somewhere in the middle of that, I took a cab and I
Yeah,
came
no,
here tonight.
we're all here. Somebody took an Uber, and we're here.
So from an influence standpoint, what did you all watch early on, comedically speaking? Like, you guys knew you were funny. You knew you wanted to do silly stuff, but what stuff made you laugh? What did you connect with? Was it In Living Color? Was it SNL? Or
Yeah, I've been watching SNL.
Was it
back in
Hee-Haw?
the day? Mel Brooks movies for me were like a big thing for me, like that kind of humor. I love Mel Brooks. He's a big Mel Brooks fan. I liked Mel Brooks movies, but then as far as TV goes, In Living Color, I love.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
For me, it was all the Zucker brothers, who we are fortunate enough to become friends with as of late, and the guys that made The Naked Gun, Airplane. It's just like I remember growing up watching that all the time.
So yeah, like Leslie Nielsen was a big one. And comedy. I started watching stand up young, and my dad we got a VCR when I was in like early grammar school, and my dad bought. There was like when VCRs first came out, like there was like the first 50 VHS tapes. There wasn't that many, and my dad bought them all, like 50 movies.
It's like I'll take them.
And a lot of the movies were Eddie Murphy movies.
it was like 48 hours.
48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, those kind of. And so he got Delirious too. My dad let me watch it. For me, my favorite show of all time, and it's the first thing that made me get up and perform. I used to do impressions of him for my family. Was Sherman Hemsley. So The Jeffersons. Was
You
my
did
is my
George
favorite show.
Jefferson?
Yeah, I used to memorize as much as I
Oh,
can.
no, Weezy, baby.
Yeah, yeah,
Just-
yeah, yeah.
He still
yeah.
does it actually.
I
if
used
you
to
want him
memorize it, and then I used to at dinner. I used to do little excerpts of the Jeffersons.
So let me get this straight. In this Italian home,
yeah. Well,
It's
yeah.
Staten Island.
you would walk in and do an impression of a black man.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was hilarious.
Pretty much, yeah. Because that was what was on TV all the time. There was no cable, so me and my grandpa used to watch it, and he's just the funniest man on the planet. I thought.
And in real life, like this embarrassment humor that we do is really how we make each other laugh. So there was no real learning curve to when we made the show. Like literally the stuff I would do all the stuff that I do on the show just in real life if we were ever shopping in a mall together or whatever. Like he doesn't go shopping with me much anymore because I don't use fitting rooms.
The
Like
store is
I don't have time. It's all the way in the back. There's a line. I just own the whole. I'm like I'm gonna hide in the corner and change my pants.
There's literally no difference. We are just very, very lucky. Like everything that we do on the show was already being done, and then they put a camera on him, and now I pay rent. I'm telling you.
Simple.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well, you know, the interesting thing that I've always found about you guys, and I'm not just saying this because I know you or anything, but your show and the style of your humor, there's still something likable and warm about it. Like, you don't feel bad about the people that you're playing the pranks on, or that you're not necessarily playing pranks on them. They're more of props, and the chaos happens around those people.
Yeah.
Was that by design?
It is by design. You know, the way Jokers came about, we had sold a couple of the shows to other networks before Jokers, and we shot pilots for them, but none of them went to series because it's what.
Don't step on me.
Oh, I'm not going to step on you.
Cross the other way. All day.
Anyways, so when, by design, we were like, how do we come up with like a hidden camera?
I'm in the middle. I can't cross.
So we're like, what we love about hidden cameras is that in embarrassment humor is it's what we organically do. But what we hated about other hidden camera shows is that you feel terrible for the people getting pranked. But in our show, we're pranking ourselves. You know, and we're putting ourselves willingly into these situations so nobody feels bad. And the way we describe it, we actually don't even describe it as a prank show. We describe it as an upside down hidden camera show where the joke's on us and the public is just there to witness our embarrassment. Yeah. And I think that's kind of like the fun of the show is that you get those edgy jokes, but if the guy on the floor doesn't say it, he stays likable. Because really, the show is about our friendship, but also at the limits of being a gentleman, which we were all raised to be gentlemen.
It is true. We do get away. The design of the show allows us to be edgy, but then not be edgy.
Yeah.
Because I could tell him to say something that's edgy, knowing that it's going to be. Because the reason I'm telling him is because I don't want him to succeed.
Right.
So I can put the joke out there that might be like, oh my God, that's a little edgy. But then it never kind of crosses the finish line because
like
he doesn't have to say it. And if he does say it, he's only saying it because he's motivated not to be punished at the end. So
as a
there's a
viewer, I don't hate
qualifier
him.
to it. Yeah. So that's kind of a little bit of a little loophole that we found that is like a safety net for us.
Yeah, and a big thing that we hear from fans all the time is like, oh, you should show a show where you reveal and you see what the people say when you tell them they were on a TV show.
And then we say to them, shut up!
Shut up. Just shut your mouth.
Don't tell me what to do.
No,
that's what I say.
There's not really that much there because people just think we're crazy.
Yeah.
Like when it's over, it's like, we're like, oh, you're on a TV show. They're like, oh, so he's not absolutely nuts? Like, that's all it is because we're really just making each other look like the idiot.
Yeah.
Right.
Like let's take some of the pranks that you do. My personal favorites is pretty much anytime you guys are in Central Park. Anytime you're in Central Park, because you don't know what you're gonna get or what's going on or what's gonna happen, and a person walks through the frame. You guys do the do. Person goes, "What the hell was that?" And they walk out of frame. Right off frame, is there somebody pulling that person to the side and going, "Listen, that guy's a lunatic. Sorry about that." Or do people snap on you? Have you ever had something go south or something? You know, like the only thing I've done even remotely close to this was prank phone calls, which are just vile and malicious.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm coming to fight you. Well, come on, let's fight. And people really want
But
to
they don't
punch
know
my
where you
face
are.
in.
But they don't know where you live.
Have you ever? My stand-up tour schedule is posted online.
We're
They know how to find.
continually surprised by people's reactions or lack of reactions in the show. Like, I can't believe what we actually get away with. But also, something set people off that you never would think would set them off. Right? We were in a 99-cent store, and the guys told me to throw a pickle at somebody, like as she was shopping. So I one of those big full pickles, and I threw a dill pickle at her. And people don't like getting hit with pickles. And she flipped.
That's what surprised you? That would be the number one thing on the list I might say someone might get angry at. Getting hit
I
with
didn't expect,
food?
but she flipped out. Her reaction, I thought, outweighed the pickle.
It was a heavy pickle.
No.
It
Did
wasn't
you
a heavy dill
connect or
pickle.
did you graze? Was it like a near miss?
No, I
He
hit her in the
in the
back.
small of the back.
Yeah.
So she turned around and there's a pickle on the floor and she's like, "Did you just throw a pickle at me?" And James was like, Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So the woman is like
She flipped out.
not happy
No.
about
And,
that.
I could see that. I
Another
could see
time
that.
we were at a grocery store in Long Island, and Sal was behind the register ringing customers up, and a woman goes to pay for her items and hands Sal her credit card. So we said, Sal, very nonchalantly take out your cell phone and snap a photo of her credit card before you swipe it. And she went ballistic.
Like,
People don't
what
like
is her-
identity theft.
What was her problem?
No,
I could
but-
see that one too.
You know,
you just gave them two perfectly good reasons to flip out. Today,
This
we
is
were
good
filming in a supermarket, and the bit was we had a $5 bill in one of the aisles, and then we let someone walk down the aisle, see it, pick it up, and then we said to that person, "Excuse me, that's not mine, but can I have it?" And they say, "Well, why?" And then the guys would give me the reason, and I would say something just like, "I haven't eaten in over 60 minutes." or no one usually says no to me. I'm sorry, but something like that. So today, a guy was walking by, he was walking with his son, saw the 5 on the floor, looked up at me. He goes, "Is that yours?" I said, "No." And his son went to get it. He said, "Don't pick that up, son. That's not yours either." Very cool. Then a couple of seconds later, he stopped. And he turned back around. He goes, "Oh, I know who you are." I said, "All right." He goes, "You're not getting me or my family with the $5.
He said, I don't know why you're bugging. He goes, I don't know why you're bugging me. I'm just here shopping with my family.
We
like
weren't
we
bugging
set
him.
up, like we knew he was coming shopping. With
I
his
was like,
son.
this was not a personal $5 attack.
Yeah.
We've been here since the morning. We will not put you on TV if you do not want
We've
to be.
got
He said,
Sal
"You're
people."
damn right you won't. I seen this on YouTube." And he just lost it. Now that is someone who flipped out for no reason.
Then Sal
I didn't hit
denies
him in the
show
face
entirely.
with a dill.
Sal denies the show entirely. He's like, "I'm just shopping for cereal." I was like, the guy's like, "I don't believe you."
So people just get mad at us in general. That's the biggest thing too. Like when I go, if I need help anywhere in real life and someone knows the show, I can't get it because people think I'm messing with them. Like if I'm like, "Excuse me," I was like, "Do you guys sell?" Oh no. I watch your show. You ain't get. Where are they? Where are the cameras? I'm like, where are the men's jeans? Like that's.
Which is horrible for your inevitable public heart attack.
Yeah. People are gonna think you're faking it.
See, he feels like he's going to have one.
I'll
Please,
tell you
I
what.
need help. Ah!
Look at Joe. He's not getting us.
We all know this, though. One of the great perks of the show is that you can steal whatever you want. And people are like, "Oh, my God, he pranked me when he stole from my store." They do. So we'll go in, Joe grab a donut from behind the counter and just laugh and walk out.
Wow.
People love it.
He's crazy.
He's
stole
on the
a
show.
donut. Thanks for the
Yeah.
donut.
So, creatively, from a writing standpoint, you guys film the show how many months out of the year? How many months are you in production on this?
9.
9, 10
Well,
months?
the thing is, for a cable show, we're a little bit peculiar because we shoot between 26 and 31 episodes. And usually a cable show is between 10 and 13.
12.
Yeah, like that. So we're filming year-round nearly. Yeah. We get little breaks in between.
The way we shoot is we do one challenge a day or one punishment a day. So it takes for our shows, it takes 2 or 3. Depending on the episode, it takes anywhere from 3 to 4 days to us to fill up an episode. So
We're not. We don't have a studio space or a home base, so we're beholden to the locations that we procure or don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have stuff booked, and then the person that owns the place or owns the pond is like, no, and then that gets bumped down the line, and we're always like, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, always trying to fill in the blanks. So
yeah, and
it's,
some events they're like, when we filmed, like for instance, Sal and I did the Imagination Dragons concert. We did the Imagine Dragons concert. I said this is a joke. So. Keep up, Sal. So the that was at like 10 o'clock at night in Long Island. So like you have the whole day off, and then you have to go, and then we actually shot like the next day. So it gets a little crazy sometimes.
So how do you, if you're in production 9 months, and I assume 2 of those 3 months, family, life, regular real world stuff, how do you creatively, and watch porn, whatever you do in your 3 months, how do you creatively...
I'm
How do you
pouring
produce
the
one show?
whole 3 months. I don't bother with my family in those 3 months.
Yeah.
How are you producing the show for 12 hours a day, and while at the same time trying to come up with new jokes for next year? Like right now, you should already be thinking about 2017.
Yeah.
production. How do you balance the two?
We have a great team of writers that season 1 and 2, it was literally just us, and we all had full-time jobs outside of the TV show as well, which made it really hard. Like Q was, still is the FDNY, and would be on. He'd do a 24-hour shift at the fire department, come straight to set, film for 8 hours, and go right back to film to do another 12-hour shift. It was intense, and during that whole time we were doing the majority of the writing of the show.
Speaking of which, true story. There's a car flipped over, and the show was on. Q's a fireman. He goes to pull the guy out of the car, and the guy looks up to him and goes, "Am I on the show right now?"
Yeah.
True story, I swear.
Absolutely true.
It's crazy.
So now we've got, the show's grown enough that we have a great team of writers, many of whom we've known for many years, that help us with the creative. And I think the four of us are very cognizant of the fact that the show needs to evolve, and we are always thinking about how to twist the format in new ways, because if it feels like we're doing the same thing, a show like this could very easily become, especially with 31 episodes a season, become the same thing again and again and again. That's why the punishments have become a bigger part of the show. That's why we continue to twist. What can we take away from a challenge to make it seem different? What does the audience assume a challenge to be, and how do you twist that in a way and remove elements or add elements to it that you've never had before that makes it seem brand new and fresh?
That's the guy that should have got mad if he thought that we staged a car accident for him. He was just like, "Am I on the show?"
Yeah.
You guys got to go international sooner or later. Let's do some Q&A. I know we have a couple of people that have some questions for you all. Young lady.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
I love you guys.
We love you too.
Thank you. I don't know you.
I don't
but
know you.
feel
I
like
won't say
I love
you.
you just as a general person.
Let's start at I'd like you. We'll move to like, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, that's good.
Good question. Next.
No, we love you. We're just being silly.
Good.
What are your favorite games that you guys do on the show, and why?
Oh, putting the balloons on people's hands
That's
down. One of
fun.
the best. That never gets old for us, because even if it's that and put pocketing, that's when we put pencils in people's pockets and they don't know we're putting pencils. And the other one is we'll have helium balloons on the ends of clothespins, and we have to put them on people that are shopping. For us, that moment where you're just about to put the balloon on or the pencil in the pocket is you're as nervous the first time you do it as the 100th time, because if they turn around, you're a 40-year-old man with a balloon in the produce aisle, and then you're like, now what? And you try to talk your way out of it. So I think those two universally we love.
I think I think we all feel this way. The littlest ones are our favorites. The ones that are very simple and easy and happen to people every day that everyone can relate to, like you have to fall asleep on somebody, or cut someone in line. I think for me,
Hold somebody's hand.
The more simple the idea, the harder and the better it is, I think.
I love the blacked out sunglasses challenge. And if you don't know that, it's where we have a regular pair of sunglasses that are blacked out on the inside so you can't see through them, and the other guys are telling you where to walk while blinded, and you have to go up to somebody, say something, take off the sunglasses,
live in it.
and look at who you just said it to.
Yeah.
And
fun.
that was one of those moments where I was mortified but so proud of my friends. They made me go up and 10 steps right, 3 steps left, turn around. Now, Murr, say this. Psst, come here, come here, come here. I take the sunglasses off. I'm outside of a children's park beckoning to the kids. It was... I was so proud of them and mortified at the same time.
Nailed it.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, do you love us or what's up?
I love you guys. Me and my mom both love you.
Okay, good.
My
Again.
question's for Joe.
like.
So I know Murr's afraid of skydiving, and Sal basically the universe, cats, germs.
Afraid of the universe.
You nailed it.
You're looking to get me out of the house.
Joe, what are you afraid of? Nothing? Come on.
The subway. No. That's a joke. I don't necessarily have a fear like that. I've lucked out that way. I think I wouldn't tell you anyway, because then they would know.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to help them.
No, yeah, well, nice try. You didn't fool anybody. I don't have anything that I'm like, ooh, I'm scared of. I mean, I'm not a big fan of no, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Well, then don't get any ideas and have the universe come after me.
You rode the tram from Roosevelt Island over into the city, and you were on the roof of the tram, and I think you had on a superhero cape or something was going on.
Fat belly.
You looked legitimately scared. Like that troubled you.
Well, I was riding a tram over the water, so there is something to be said that where I was just, and they would stop. The thing that they didn't realize, and was kind of like, I was more mad because, like, I try to think about everything when this happens. Like, when I'm producing something, I'm like, okay, this could go wrong, this could go wrong. I don't think anybody thought of the idea of when the tram stopped in the middle, it goes. So I'm sitting in, the first time it stopped, I was like, what? And I literally, like, grabbed the thing, and I looked down because it had a window, and you could see them, and Sal's like, oh, my God, the whole thing's shaking, and I'm on top of it, and he's inside and closed in glass.
I was nervous on the inside.
This question has nothing to do with the show. Just
All
more
right.
curious than anything.
All right.
Sal, how was it filming the music video for Backflip?
Oh, by
Front Bottoms?
the Front Bottoms.
You
oh,
did
yeah,
a music
Front Bottoms,
video?
Yeah, Front Bottoms are a great indie band, and in the video they kill me. They kill me and another New York comic, Chris Gethard. It was fun. It's cold. It was. They lit me on fire, but it wasn't me.
What a way to go.
At that point, they had swapped out and they put in a dummy.
How long of a day was it? Shoot, music
I wasn't
video.
in it. I wasn't. It wasn't that bad. It was cool though because I didn't realize how popular they were, and everyone always asks me about the video. It's always fun to do a little cameo because we're always in the show. So to be outside the show
Good
is
deal.
fun.
Actually, we just missed making a cameo in the Imagine Dragons radioactive video. That day was the day that Sandy happened. They were filming in upstate, and we were coming from set, and
there.
they were like, "Come," we had met their manager and become friendly with them. They're like, "Hey, we're shooting a music video. If you want to come up and be in it," and then, of course, we couldn't go because of the weather, so we couldn't get up there in time.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
I know that you
Where do we stand on the love issue?
very manly love.
All right,
Going
great,
back and
great,
forth
great,
here.
good.
I know that Sal and Q have their own thing on the side, like podcast, right? Do you guys do anything on besides the Tenderloins and the Jokers? Do you guys have anything else going on?
Sure.
Or
I think
independently?
we all have interests, but so much of what our careers are and our life is these days is building, the brands around Jokers and the Tenderloins. Like obviously we tour almost like every other weekend, and that takes up a lot of time. And the filming the TV show takes up a lot of time. And then we've got a lot of other big projects that we're hoping that all play out too. One day we hope to shoot an Impractical Jokers movie. That'd be pretty fun.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I made a baby,
Joe made a baby.
so I have that. I do that on the side, I guess. I parent on the side.
Mur, why do you put so many nasty things in your mouth?
You don't know the half of it.
I love you.
Excellent question, young man.
I love you, little man.
Yeah. Yeah, Mur. Why do you put so many nasty things in your mouth?
I don't like your attitude. no,
What you tell them what you had. You had a stranger's sock in
I've
your
had
mouth.
somebody's sock. I licked the bottom of somebody's shoe. I put a stranger's hands in my mouth after he was on the subway. What? Oh, somebody seen our live show. That if you see our live show, you see what I put in my mouth at the end, which will blow your mind. Why? I'll tell you why. Because life. Here's my opinion. Life's too short not to put everything in your mouth twice.
Yep.
Once to see if you like it. Second time to see if you're right about the first time. After that, don't do it again.
How you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
Love issue, pretty good. Q, not so much. He's not here. He gave me a few months back. He gave me a hat of his when I met you and Q in the city, and he was a little standoffish. But
Don't talk shit about my friend. Next question. You think I'm going to sit here and take this?
You know what's funny? He said the same thing about you, bud.
Yeah. He wants his hat back, asshole.
Wait,
I got it right here if you want it.
he gave you his hat and he's standoffish?
You
What
have
does the
his
guy
hat.
got to do?
That sounds like a nice guy.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what your friend's problem was. He gave me a gift.
2 quick questions. Sal, would you really punch a little girl in a cornfield?
Right in the chops.
All right, that's one.
Mur, do you still have your piercings?
No.
Where were these piercings, Mur?
Double nip and
I
belly
got my
button.
nipples and my belly button pierced because we had a wheel of piercing. Whatever it landed on, I had to get pierced. No, I got them removed. The nipples healed nicely. Thank you for asking.
Hi, I'm such a big fan of you guys.
Thank you. Your enthusiasm is intoxicating.
Thank you. Okay, what's your favorite memory together as a whole?
I would have to say when I told these guys that my wife was pregnant
Yeah, that was.
and that I bought a house at the same time.
I'd have to say when he got his wife pregnant.
I'm torn. There are
You were there, weren't you? I thought I heard you guys in the closet.
I like that Joe's wife was pregnant, but for me, two moments really stick out in our friendship. Because you have to understand, we this is a serious answer. We failed for so many years that I remember December 15th rather, 2011, standing there hugging my best friends the night that the show premiered in season 1. That stands out in my mind. And the other one that stands out in my mind is when Q successfully walked that tightrope and came down. And at the end of that episode, the 100th episode, to reach 100 episodes, it's just, I remember the four of us just hugging and jumping up and down. And I was like, I can't believe what I get to do for a living. And I can't believe that I'm doing it with my absolutely best friends in the whole world.
Honestly, every day we look at each other and we're like, we're at work right now. It's crazy.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
You guys are really funny. I love all of you, but Murr's my favorite. So this question is for him.
That's okay. You'll grow out of it.
I want to know, out of all the punishments you've done, which one was the hardest to do and why?
Skydiving, of course, was very difficult, but that's not my answer. My answer is the Danica McKellar, the Winnie Cooper punishment. I'll tell you, because they totally got me, man. That was my childhood crush, Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years. I had posters of her, everything, It was her and Alyssa Milano when I grew up. That's it, right? And I was already mortified being in that little skimpy outfit and thinking I was going into a bodybuilding competition because my body doesn't build. You know what I'm saying?
The best part of that punishment is like Murray is about to walk into that room, and before. From a producing standpoint, we always give each other tips, and I'm like, all right, Murray, when you go in there, bud, you're gonna walk out right onto the stage. So bust through that door, and to show that you mean business and you're there. So Murray busts through the door thinking he was taking the stage. So if you look at that first moment when he comes through the door, he's all sorts of confident, and then boom, it's gone in an instant when he realizes.
I just didn't expect it. She looked so beautiful, and I looked so unbeautiful. And I went through so many emotions in that one moment when I walked in the room. Right. I was like, I look ridiculous. I'm absolutely mortified. This is a woman of my dreams when I grew up. Second emotion though was I was so proud of my best friends for coming up with such a great twist, And then she said that our kid would be a mistake.
Yeah, which is true.
So that was it. That was it.
Gentlemen, very nice to see you guys. To meet you. My wife actually is her birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Aww. She's lovely. She actually turned me on to the show a couple of years ago.
Small lady.
And she would love nothing more than to hear Joe give her a nice rendition of your Portuguese love song.
Oh.
I was trying to.
Portuguese love song.
I go, sale, bon salve, vinhado, no. I'm very sure that was it.
Thank
yes,
you
happy
very much.
birthday, sweetheart.
Before we go, I just want to thank our dear and close friend Roy Wood Jr.
He's great.
He's the funniest dude in the world.
Yes.
We have him do stuff with us and join us whenever we can because he's the best. And follow him on Twitter and go see his shows and watch The Daily Show. He's the funniest man I know, really.
Watch Impractical Jokers Thursdays at 10 o'clock.
That's right.
On truTV.
That was in December, but the water was freezing.
Well, we were supposed to film it in the summer, and at the last minute, the original pond owner pulled out. So we lost the location. So we had to, when we found a pond.
The original pond owner?
There was a different pond.
I'm not privy to this information because it was a surprise to me.
We had a totally different pond, and at the last minute, he was like, nah. And it was like.
He was like, nah, that's my pond.
Has there ever been anything that the network has just said flat out no to? Like that you cannot do?
It's interesting. Everything kind of goes full circle. It's the pilot episode, season 1, the beginning, in the treatment for Impractical Jokers, it was called Mission Uncomfortable at that time, we pitched the tattoo punishment. I mean, this is season 1, episode 1.
Now, what's the tattoo punishment?
It's where one of us, whoever wins the episode, forces the other 3 to permanently get a tattoo of his choosing, and we don't find out until after we peel the bandages off what's been emblazoned on our body.
And we repitched that a bunch of times.
They said no 20 times, and then finally we're like, "That's a good idea."
Yeah, and it worked
So
out.
it's just about it's as much just knowing. Just as a sign of unity, I'm going to stand for the whole thing.
I've known you for a long time.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're done.
So where's Quinn?
It's tough. It's tough if one of us catches a cold, we force the other one to not be near us. That's true because we can't all get sick because we
Yeah, we filmed today, and he was in the back room by himself, like in the corner, as we were trying to stay away from him because we can't get sick.
So he wanted to be here, but we forbade him.
Yes.
Okay.
He says hi, though.
So how
I'll
does
tell
it
him you said hi.
That is a huge camera right up front. There's
You're
nothing
capturing
secret
my
about that
soul.
camera.
Hey, she's
You
got
are-
a tour shirt on. You see that? That's an Impractical Jokers tour T-shirt.
Can you hold that up? Can you hold that up?
over
Can
your
you
head.
hold it over your head?
Over your head.
Can you hold?
There you
What is
go.
that? Is that a billion megapixel camera?
Now, you guys seem like you're having a lot of fun this season. And I think we talked about this once. I don't remember how I worded it because I might have been drunk. But let's talk about what the network is willing to let you do, because I'm pretty sure
There's no rules, like we learned as we went along, and it's as much knowing, just like you know how to talk to your mom when you want to get you something, or it's the same exact thing. It's just like
Communication.
knowing when to communicate, when's the right time, you know what I mean?
When to clean your room.
And
It's all very
you
similar.
sneak stuff in. It's literally just like there's no rules at all.
So what strange tattoos do you now have?
Well, I won, so I don't have any.
Yeah.
But
Well,
they lost.
I have.
Don't take it out here. Don't take it out here.
Okay, this is getting edgy. Cover your eyes, young lady.
Murr has a ferret skydiving.
Ferret skydiving.
Yeah.
You're laughing like you're seeing it. Did you not know? No.
Oh, he knows what Sal has?
Oh my God, are you okay? He's turning purple. Oh my God, are you all right? I'm being dead serious. We might have an emergency.
Yeah.
So we have a ferret skydiving.
I got a ferret skydiving.
And what do we have?
I have Q, and Q got on one that Q's a cat guy, and he has 3 cats and counting. And so he put on him a cat, and it says 38, lives alone, has 3 cats.
All true.
Which backfired.
With a cute little cat on him.
Which backfired because Q loves it.
Yeah, he does love, but he's not 38 anymore, so it's out of date.
Yeah. And he put on me Jaden Smith.
A very
Wait,
accurate
Will
one.
Smith's son. You have a tattoo of Will Smith's son.
I have a tattoo of Will Smith's son. I have a 16-year-old boy tattooed on me for life. And this was before he's really getting like popular now.
Yeah.
But this is when it was just like, I don't know.
So you wanted the
Karate
first fans
Kid.
on board.
Yeah. It was when I showed it to him. We
So
saw
you have
him.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yes.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah. I got
It was the pursuit of
I got
happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness, Jaden Smith. Not like, how does
After
the universe
Earth
work,
or whatever
Jaden
it is.
Smith. But it's on my thigh. I'm gonna keep it because that was the intention. So, but it has nothing to do with me. And
If you pitched Sal jumps out of helicopter in season 1, they would have said, get the hell out of here. We're not giving you that.
Yeah, we definitely got more license to do the crazy ideas. The thing is, the ideas have started from the beginning, though. These crazy ideas we've been sitting on. I was sitting on that the idea about that helicopter punishment because it's a real bet that these two guys have had. They had this true bet that if Murr weighed the same as Sal, he could beat him in a foot race.
The actual bet, I could beat him to the top of the Empire State Building
that
was
was
the
it.
actual bet.
So he said, if he because he weighs less than Sal, so we said, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll strap him into a fat suit and we'll make them run. So we put like 65 pounds on Murr and made them race, and of course Murr lost because he always just runs his mouth.
What
and
I've
never
realized
comes
is
through.
that I can't beat Sal in a foot race. No.
So then for the punishment of it, we were like, okay, we'll just take them up in a helicopter and we'll make one of them jump out of it. And the network was like, I'm sorry, what do you want them to do? And we're like, no, he'll just jump into it. Don't worry, there's going to be water. It'll be a lake. So they were like,
yeah, thank you for putting water under Sal.
So they're like, how